Welcome to Crow Productions Co. My name is Crow, and I'm about to embark on the very first stereoscopic 3D Let's Play of Thief. Thief 2014. Now, the original Thief game, Thief Deadly Shadows, actually did play back in the day, though it was only the demo. And at the time, I was, 11, 12 years old, maybe, when I played that demo? So it was a very difficult game for a kid like me to play, and I didn't get very far in it at all, and I ended up not even beating the demo. But here we are, quite a few years later, and I'm going to take on this challenge for the YouTubes to view in stereoscopic 3D. Now, as always, if you can't view this in stereoscopic 3D yet, somehow and for some reason you're watching me, a relative nobody, play this game rather than one of the big kahunas who have 20, 30, 40,000 views, and as a result they appear under the search for Thief Let's Play way ahead of me, then you can turn off 3D by going to the gear icon on the bottom right of the player window and just turn it off. And if you're using the HTML5 player, you won't see an off thing, or actually you will see an off thing, but it may not work for you. So what you can do is you can go click the options text. There's some text there that says options. You can click that. It will reload the page, set it to the Flash player, and then you should be able to disable it as normally. Now, Thief is a game which I didn't have. I had some interest in it, but I wasn't too enthusiastic about it. I actually probably wouldn't have purchased it at full price, to be honest with you. I would have waited until it went on sale, as I usually do with games these days. But once I saw Total Biscuit's WTF is Thief, which came out a day before Thief was actually released here, he went to the options menu here, as he does at the start of every video that he does, because he is a PC-centric channel, and the options menu is absolutely critical for us PC gamers. So he went in here, he went through all this stuff, blah, 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 talking about it. Then he went to the display, and he talked about stereoscopic 3D being an option in this. And what did he say about the stereoscopic 3D? This motherfucker says, well, if you want to play with stereoscopic 3D, you can, for the 3 people who do. He's always got some smart-ass remark when he covers a game that has built-in stereoscopic options. But it was at that point, when he was a smart aleck, that I went to Gamersgate and immediately pre-ordered the game. Because I'm a stereoscopic 3D gamer, and I want to support games that have stereoscopic 3D support built in. Now, this is a Square Enix published game, which means that, well, this is just the next in a considerable lineup of recent titles they've released that have built-in stereoscopic functionality. It's actually quite amazing what Square Enix published games have been doing. Tomb Raider, built-in stereoscopic 3D, absolutely amazing game to play in stereoscopic 3D. The game just looks absolutely incredible. Also, Sleeping Dogs, another game from Square Enix. I think that came out late 2012, if I recall. It had built-in stereoscopic 3D options. And I can't think of any other Square Enix published, big AAA Square Enix published games recently that did have stereoscopic options built in. But obviously Square Enix is on top of their shit when it comes to PC gaming in general, and for also supporting stereoscopic 3D. Now, there are some significant issues with stereoscopic 3D in this game, but we'll take a look at that as I get into it. So, yeah, I'll go into that once we actually get into the game. There's some things I could say now, but we'll just leave that for later. Better to actually get into the game at this point, I think. One last thing to say before we get started and create a new game is graphics are currently not set to maximum. As you can see here, I've got quite a few things turned off, including tessellation, which is a big deal when it comes to games looking really awesome. I really like the effect tessellation has on making things like heads and people's heads, their clothes, all that stuff. Excuse me, coughing a little. I'm kind of. Excuse me. Okay, heads, their clothes, everything makes it look a little bit smoother, and things like barrels. Usually, it's kind of rough geometry. You can see clear edges because they're trying to use as few polygons as possible. But tessellation can make that stuff all smoothed out because it uses triangles rather than whatever they use. Okay, so I've got that turned off, unfortunately, because it makes a huge hit to my FPS. This game is not running well on my system at the moment. So until Nvidia gets some better drivers out, these are pretty much the settings that I've been able to get an acceptable degree of quality with. Now, another thing to note about this Let's Play is this is the first Let's Play that I am doing using Nvidia's Shadowplay. Ordinarily, I wouldn't use Shadowplay because it encodes to H.264, which is a lossy video format. And even though it can encode to super high bit rates, up to 50 megabits per second, you still are losing quality. And so I prefer to use Fraps and do it like that. But Shadowplay is now an alternative for recording stereoscopic 3D gameplay. And the greatest benefit that I have discovered in my trying to record Thief is that it can record games that have native stereoscopic rendering. This game has native stereoscopic rendering. Oh, and that reminds me, another Square Enix game that had built-in stereoscopic 3D options was Deus Ex Human Revolution, which came out in 2011, I think. So yeah, Square Enix, fuck yeah. So this game cannot be recorded with Fraps because, as with all games that have native stereoscopic rendering, which means that the game itself creates the two separate views for each eye, and then sends them to your stereoscopic display driver, which then sends it to your monitor or your TV. Games that do that, rather than having the drivers create the two separate views, cannot be recorded with Fraps, with 3D vision. Shadowplay, it is now possible to record these games using 3D vision with games that have native stereoscopic rendering. So that's what I'm doing here. This is my first time ever doing it, but it should work just fine. Right now it's recording and shouldn't be any issues. Now, enough prefacing, let's start the game. And yes, I did start a game to kind of test things out. I didn't get past the tutorial though, so this is... Excuse me. I'm trying to talk too fast, faster than my throat can keep up with. So this is going to be my first time really playing the game, and I started my test playthrough on Thief, which is just normal difficulty, but I have since seen that Paul Soares Jr. Is playing Thief, and he went with Master. And I watched a little bit of his Let's Play. I watched the first couple parts, and the guy doesn't quite have a grasp on the game just yet. He might eventually get it, but he's pretty bad at the game at the moment. And you know what? If he can take on that challenge of Master, screw it. I'm going to do it. You cannot change the difficulty setting once the game has been started. Good. I don't like it when games allow you to change the difficulty. Alright, so we're going to get a cutscene here. Hopefully this won't take too long to load. It is running on an SSD. So, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 seconds. Come on, you're there. Alright, here we go. Thief.
There's one thing this city's taught me. You can put a price on anything. Secrets, reputations, a life. And trust. If you have to ask, you can't afford it. But then I suppose none of that matters when you're me. After all, when did I ever pay for anything?
All right. Here we are in Thief. Looks pretty nice. Though, what I will say about this game's built-in rendering is that you don't have a whole lot of room to create as much separation as you'd like. For some reason, they call stereo separation is depth, and stereo depth is convergence. I don't know why. It was like that in Tomb Raider and also Deus Ex Human Revolution as well. I don't know why they name it like that, but you can see this is convergence. This is what convergence does. So I've got that set right there, which is pretty nice. But I've got separation maxed out, and it's not actually that much separation. Like if I was playing this, like for this Let's Play, that's fine because I usually use a lower separation value to make sure that people watching it in their various viewing situations will have a comfortable experience. But I would like to have more separation than that for if I were to play this solo.
Too much light.
Now,
Let's make it a little more cozy in here.
the main problem with the stereoscopic rendering in this game is going to be visible right here. The entire UI is screen depth, which is really bad. I don't like that at all, including the crosshairs for the bow and things like that. So you honestly couldn't pump up the depth too much unless you were to turn off the crosshair, which you can do, and use the Nvidia laser sight. And I wonder if Shadowplay picks up the Nvidia laser sight. The laser sight doesn't actually work properly. It's supposed to be variable depth based upon the geometry that it's hovering over, but it's actually just maximum depth right here and is making me go kind of cross-eyed, so I'm just going to turn that off for now. So the game does have issues, without a doubt. Fortunately, they will probably never fix that. It's a shame that they would have built-in stereoscopic rendering with this engine, which is the Unreal 3 engine, by the way. A game that actually takes advantage of the Unreal 3 engine's ability to do great stereoscopic 3D. Most games using it don't even bother, like Bioshock Infinite, Unreal Engine 3 game. Beautiful game, but they didn't bother to add the stereoscopic support. So I think I've looted this entire area. Let's continue on. Oh yeah, and I need to turn off the Fraps counter because it actually gets picked up with Shadowplay. But even with this relatively minor amount of depth, you can still see, you know, what you'd expect to see when you look down. I also like that this game shows your own body. Too many first-person games don't. Another problem with the 3D is, like, this fog effect here appears to be... This fog effect appears to be screen depth rather than proper volumetric fog. There's some volumetric fog down there, but yeah, there's definitely some fog not looking right. Right between these two tents. Okay. So hold E. You can see how ugly these textures are too. Really ugly textures. Hideous, in fact. Alright. So I am not running sweet effects with this game. I haven't tried it yet, actually. That was not part of my testing. Yep. Don't want to do anything crazy near the birds.
Someone's a bird.
Yeah.
That painting's more my taste. I should take
There's
a
some
closer look.
2D fog effects here. Full screen. Well, it's not the full screen, but it's on the screen plane, and it doesn't look good. Okay, the convergence here is too high. So even though this game does have stereoscopic support built in, stereoscopic rendering built in, unfortunately, they didn't put a whole lot of work into making it a smooth experience. That is very unfortunate. Oh, it's E to set the pin. Sorry. I was left clicking. That didn't do the job. There we go. Beautiful necklace. Fetch a nice price.
What the?
More 2D fog effects.
Well, they do call the rooftops the Thieves' Highway. I just hope that's not who I think it is.
One of the strongest points in this game is Skybox, I think. Skybox is frickin' incredible. I'm glad the Skybox renders at the correct depth as well. Seems like really the only anomaly is that 2D fog. And there actually may be a way to turn that off in some of the configuration options. This game is, I believe, only DirectX 10 and 11. So, unfortunately, the Helix mod is not able to help us out with this particular game. And there you see the 2D crosshair. Really sucks. Whoops. Okay. All right, and here we meet a very interesting character.
Aaron. Of course it is. Care to make a little more noise next time?
How else would you know it was me? Basso did tell you we were working together on this, right?
Well, I showed up, so what do you think?
I think you haven't changed a bit. Come on, it'll be just like old times.
You can see the objective marker also on screen depth. Kind of annoying. More 2D fog. Yeah, if that 2D fog can be turned off, that'd be great. You can turn off objective markers and all that stuff. It's a huge amount of UI customization ability.
Did you pick that route because it was fast or because you thought it'd be fun?
Can it be both?
Come on, let's get Basso his commission.
Yep, the light gem shows how lit up I am. Alright.
Are you going to use any of those shadows, Lady Lamplight?
I was just scouting ahead. I know you always like to go first.
So I have some commentary on this Aaron character, but I'm going to save that for later. After you kind of find out who she is. After you can see for yourself who she is, rather. Probably don't want to be running here.
You should get yourself one of these. See you on the other side.
Looks like I won't be going that way.
Come on, he couldn't climb up that? My freaking master thief.
Why not drink to a job well done first? We can't just leave the cart out here. It's festival time. Your average thief will be under a table in an ale house.
And the watch will be liquored up too. I'm not haggling fines with a drunk guard again.
Yeah, man. Even though I haven't been playing this game too much just yet, this game is absolutely benefited a great deal by Stereoscopic 3D. I mean, any game that's first person really is. But it's just so awesome to be like crouching here in this world and feel like I'm actually in it. And just get it, like the leaves floating around in the air, and I can see that they're actually floating. Man, I just love gaming in Stereoscopic 3D, man. It's just nothing like it. And I was watching Stereo 3D Productions, Chris over there. He did a rant video on topics relating to 3D, and he's talking about the Oculus Rift and virtual reality. This would be awesome to play with a virtual reality headset.
Jealous of the claw? I made it myself.
I'm sure the watch will be very impressed. They'll certainly hear us coming.
They'll have to catch me first.
Just be aware of your surroundings.
It's not about taking in the sights, Garrett. It's about taking in the loot.
It's about taking in the loot. It's not about taking in the sights.
Right?
I've been stealing since before you could crawl.
There's the Garrett I know. How about a friendly wager? Let's see who can take in the most.
Alright. That friendly wager never actually amounts to anything. There's actually no counting of who took in the most. I can tell you that much. So, kind of lame. I think someone heard me. Maybe they heard her. Here's some guards speaking. Like fog like that looks fine, but there's plenty of fog that does not work.
Look what I found. You and me out on the town? Why did we stop doing this again?
Do you really need to ask?
Because you're kind of reckless? Alright. So I'm gonna pretend like the wager's real and just steal everything I can and get as much as I can in terms of loot. In this basket, like you can really see the towels are inside of the basket. It's just little things like that that when you're used to playing games in 2D for your entire life are really impressive. Just get rid of this light a little bit. That's an unopenable door. Doesn't even have a handle on it, so kind of like, what were they thinking?
It pays to keep a low profile in places.
Whoa, this is actually 2D.
Those places.
I didn't realize that this keyhole thing was 2D. Like Dishonored, when you peer through a keyhole, is not in 2D. How do I back out? Okay, right mouse button. Whoops. So I wonder what happens if you like fail too many times on pulling pins or tumblers or whatever you want to call it. Okay. So there is quite a bit to loot in here.
Keep a secret in this neighborhood.
Voyeur's diary. Madam Flowers. Relationship with watchguard continues. Husband still absent? Send anonymous letter. Okay. Mr. Unknown, who rented the apartment across the street, must be concealed wall safe on lower floor. Left of stairs? Always something valuable passing through his hands, but I can't see exactly where he hides it. Knew he was up to no good. Paxman. Nothing for several days. Passed on. Never seen any relatives. Inheritance money? So I found the one document here, I guess. There's his spyglass, which I'm going to steal for some reason. This guy won't be doing too much voyeuring anymore, or whatever the verb form of voyeur is. Yeah, I'm not even going to guess. Can steal from his trunk. He's got a ring there. And I'm a kind thief, so I close the trunk back up. What does that say? Frankenogram. Yeah, this 2D fog effect, really irritating. Gotta see if I can turn that shit off. Probably can, because...
If you're going to urinate in the street like a watchman, at least do it out of the light. Everybody can see you.
The ale has to go somewhere, dear. I'm just the middleman. Besides, you're the only one watching.
Every day I'm reminded what a cat you were.
Come on, let's go try those gabble wings.
Yeah, those gabble wings sound delicious.
Hell, where is she? She up there? I mean, I know she's up there, but I don't know if she's there right this moment. Okay, so... yeah, you got the disgusting husband and the wife that puts up with him. Stereotypical instance of shit in this game, number 1. Going to infiltrate this house. Steal what I can. Okay, so this is the drop location. Let's see. Bunch of nothing here. Nothing in the trunk. Nothing behind the trunk lid. Okay. There is a bird here that will get agitated if I make some wrong moves, so let's just be a little careful in how I do things here.
So how much did you steal?
It's not how much you steal. It's what you steal.
And how you steal it. Looks like this primal stone thing that Basso wants is in the ceremony room at Northcrest Manor.
It's the Baron's mansion. Won't be easy.
Worried?
Yes, and so should you.
We'll be fine. I'll pick up your slack.
This job's getting more complicated by the second.
Garrett is a man of extreme patience. Let me just give him all due credit and respect for that. Oh, sorry about that beep. I forgot to turn off my instant messaging sounds. All right.
That's a lot of guards.
They're definitely not here for the summer festival dance. A lot of guards means a lot of steel. Thieves and swords do not get on well.
I've never had a problem with swords. But then again, I'm not just a thief.
Just drink it in, everyone. Just take in her character. And I will comment on her in the future. Without it. Can't friggin' see without it.
You go off and on all the time.
So you can't fix it?
Do I look like an engineer to you? None of the staff can keep up with all his lordship's experiments.
Not going to be much of a brighter future if the lights don't work.
So as you can tell, voice actors in this game are Canadian, which makes sense because this game was developed by Eidos Montreal. Same people who developed Deus Ex Human Revolution, and also that guy, the guy on the left, the guard, in the guard outfit. I recognize his voice from Deus Ex Human Revolution. He was, I don't remember exactly what character, probably some assorted civilians and guards maybe, I don't know, but I definitely recognize his voice from that project.
Huh?
What?
What was that? I think
God dang it. Also, I think one of the conditions of Master is you cannot be seen ever. And you... Yeah,
we can't
yeah.
let the Baron's guests see this thing giving out. And we can't frigging see without it.
Okay.
You go off and on all the time.
So you can't fix it?
Do I look like an engineer to you? None of the staff can keep up with all his lordship's
I just wonder what would
experiments.
happen.
Not going to be much of a brighter
won't let
future
me.
if the lights don't work.
Won't let me bash him. Random piece of valuable glass. Just sitting there. Not something you really see every day, but hey, I'll take it. Okay. Steel.
Bronson, over here.
Huh?
Help the new boy, will you? He's been trying to light a fire basket for 10 minutes.
What am I, his father?
Go on before he sets fire to
So, one thing that I think they did pay attention to when they were developing the stereoscopic experience for this game was the cutscenes all look really good in 3D. There's not, when the camera gets really close to the characters, there's not a huge amount of pop out like there can be in many games when you get the cutscenes, and it's not usually that big of a problem in like first-person games because you usually have a rather low amount of convergence. our amount of convergence that's okay for things being close to the camera, because you get things close to the camera like when you're right in front of them like this. So that's fine, and it's usually okay with cutscenes, but that actually might be where the cutscenes look okay here too. I don't know. But the cutscenes look absolutely fine. So, oh my god. Okay, that was an unfortunate incident right there that interrupted my gameplay. Someone sent me an instant message, and that caused the game to minimize and stop recording, but should be okay now. As you can see, the 2D frickin'... oh my god, it's so bad. Yeah, the 2D crosshair is really bad. But, yeah, so game got minimized. I'm back, and I'm just going to get to this next area, and I will cut the part here, and we will continue in next one. So, yeah.
Every time I get it going, it fizzles out again.
You couldn't set a cloth aflame if it was doused in oil, son. I'll show you how it's done. If you pack it together too close, then the air won't feed the flames.
I should know better. My family used to be charcoal burners.
Oh, yeah? That's work you don't see much since the factories came.
Really? He doesn't know? He doesn't see his body? You kidding me? His body's right there. Come on, dude. It's even in the light, too. Hello, sir. His face would look so much better with tessellation. But, again, I don't think my game performs well enough with it on. That's exactly what I said. Just drink it in, fellas. Drink it in. Commentary's coming later. So I don't think there's actually anything in this area. But I'm just going to have another quick look. Yep, there isn't. So I'm just going to continue to the next area and call it quits. By the way, I suspect that that's Courtney Draper on the voice for Aaron. %95 sure that it is her. She played Elizabeth in BioShock Infinite. But not entirely sure. I'm going to have to look that up just to be sure. Alright. So here with this guard and these bottles is where I'm going to leave it for now. And he should be able to see me because, as you can tell by my shadow, I'm apparently lit from the back, and therefore he should be able to see my silhouette. But, you know, games can't be completely realistic, I guess. And there's no jump, so it's not like I can just jump and try and get his attention, because this is one of those shitty games that has no function for jumping. Which it makes no sense either, because pressing the space bar, it's not like pressing the space bar does something. I'm pressing it and absolutely nothing happens. It's frickin' ridiculous. Okay, so thank you for joining me in part 1 of the one and only, at this point in time when I'm making this video, one and only Stereoscopic 3D Let's Play of Thief 2014. My name's iCrow, and if you join me in the next part and subsequent parts, I will be very grateful, because, well, I'm the only one doing Stereoscopic 3D Let's Plays with any kind of consistency, and my consistency is not very consistent, so that tells you how bad the 3D LP scene is these days. Alright, so Please join me in the next one, and we will continue with this master difficulty let's play of Thief 2014. See you next time.